Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Film Forecast for the week of June 15th. It is pretty much summer here in Toronto, and I am joined in Toronto by my lovely colleague, Analea Boki. Hey, Analea. Looks like we're sitting on the same stoop, but not. You're there. Where am I?
There.
I don't know how that works, but... And over in Vancouver, in we might want to call Pigeon Central, we've got Catherine Brodsky.
Gosh,
We're
guys.
being kept awake by the pigeons. And of course, First Weekend Club's founder and executive director, the lovely Anita Adams. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
I'm getting not so much love from Catherine today, but we'll see if we can change that when we get to the
It's
Brodsky.
the pigeons. Don't worry, Priya. It's all the pigeons. I'm putting
Not
all my
personal,
anger
right?
towards them. It's not you.
Just hone it in there. Hone it in.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally.
All right, folks, we've got a lot of interesting information on the go today, and we continue to celebrate both Pride Month and Indigenous History Month, so we've got some great picks from Anita on both those sides. Happy to celebrate all the amazing diversity of Canada, but we're going to start off, as we always do, with our ear to the ground Canadian film correspondent. That's so long, but I can get it out so well now. Analea, what do you got for us?
We got tomorrow, June 16th, The Rest of Us, starring Sophie Nélisse, Heather Graham, Jodie Balfour, and directed by the Aisling Chen-Yi. Oh my gosh, Aisling Chen-Yi. That will be streaming. Check our website. The documentary by Roy Tai, Never Be Done, the Richard Glenn Lett story. We have a great interview, a candid interview with Justine Warrington that we're sharing around, so take a look at that after you watch the film. Steve Marco's doc that won the Cannes Film Fest or Canada Film Fest award for Best Feature, Shoot to Marry, that also launches June 16th. And we have information available about the film Bella Ciao. That was supposed to get a theatrical release in Toronto, but COVID happened. So what they're doing instead is they have a fundraiser actually to support a community-based organization called Watari. It's Vancouver-based, and there's also a Toronto-based Casa Salvador Allende. Tickets purchased now till July 16th proceeds will go towards those organizations, and the film will start streaming on June 25th.
Awesome. Do you know what those organizations are about, Analea?
Yeah, Watari, I believe, is an Indigenous counseling type of organization that is based in the Vancouver East Side, where the story takes place, where Latin American, Indigenous, and Italian communities converge. And then the Casa Salvador Allende is Toronto-based, and it is like a cultural center, as far as
amazing. Congrats to the filmmakers for choosing two really great organizations to help support.
Yeah, that's Carolyn Coombs, I believe, from WIFT, correct? WIFT Vancouver.
She was the executive director of the Women in Film Vancouver. Yeah,
that's right.
Nice. Thanks, Analea.
I love that there's so many great films coming out on VOD. This is such an exciting time. I mean, it's kind of a crazy time, of course, but there's opportunity for Canadian film to really shine right now because people are looking for content. We're at home, and there are so many great Canadian films that are available, that are being released, or older titles that you can discover, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to encourage everybody to sign up and become a member of First Weekend Club so you can learn about these different great films and tell people. The more people that know about it, because there's so much content online that are cluttering. Like, there's so much content online, and we want people to discover Canadian films, and that's what we're all about. So let people know about First Weekend Club and become a member if you haven't already. That was
Yeah,
kind
you make a good point in that for the first time, really, Canadian film is kind of on equal footing in
yeah.
some regards. I mean, we may still not have the huge marketing dollars to let people know about VOD releases, but at least we're not competing for theatrical screens because we
Yeah.
all know we can't compete with those Hollywood blockbusters.
Yeah, exactly. Like before COVID, it was Canadian films would open in, you know, one theater in Vancouver, maybe two theaters in Toronto, and another theater in Quebec, you know, or Montreal. And it's just it's a different playing field now. Like everybody anywhere can watch these films. So now you just need to know what films to watch, and we're here to help you figure that out.
And on that note, Anita, what have you picked for us this week?
Thank you. I've got a couple for you guys that I want to recommend. So what I typically do are I pull or look at older titles, recently released films, and then I want to make recommendations that you can go and find them online. I have been promoting a lot of stuff on CBC Gem. I love that platform. One, it's free. They have a paid version as well. It's I think it's $4.99, and then you have no commercials, and that's always, I've got the paid version because I don't like commercials, but they have some great content. And what I'm really excited about, what they've done in celebrating Pride Month, they have put together a curated playlist of some feature films, documentaries, and TV series that tell the stories of people in the LGBTQ plus community. And there's some really fantastic films that are there. So I'm going to give you two titles from that selection, and then I got one more. I know I usually only do two titles. Priya, is it okay if I give three
We'll
today?
take it, of course. The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. Okay, so the first one I want to recommend to you guys is Closet Monster. This is a story about Oscar Madley, who hovers on the brink of adulthood, who is destabilized by his dysfunctional parents. I mean, I think a lot of us know about that. Unsure of his sexuality and haunted by some horrific images of a tragic gay bashing that he had witnessed as a young child. This is a powerful film. It's dark. It's moving. It's an award-winning movie. Check that out on CBC Gem. If you are looking for something a little lighter, check out Breakfast with Scott. This is a delightful story about Eric McNally, who is a gay retired hockey player who turned television sportscaster, and his life partner Sam, who is a sports lawyer. And these two unexpectedly become the legal guardians of Sam's nephew, Scott. And their orderly lives are suddenly turned upside down. And it's an absolutely delightful film. Both of these films, as mentioned, are on CBC Gem. Now, I've got one more for the mix. It is Pride Month, and it's also Indigenous History Month. And the film that I want to recommend now is called Fire Song. It's another strong, powerful film, an Indigenous story, and with some LGBTQ themes within the story. So it's about a teenage girl who commits suicide in a remote northern Ontario Aboriginal community, and it's up to her brother Shane to take care of their family. And Shane was supposed to move to the city for university in the fall, but he wants to convince his secret boyfriend to come with him. But now, of course, everything has changed. The future is really uncertain, and there's new circumstances that take turn for the worse, and Shane has to choose between his family and his future. This is, again, a darker story, very moving, a multi-award-winning film. This one you can rent on Vimeo. So check out those titles, a few great ones for you to consider. Thank you. Back to you, Priya.
Thanks, Anita. So many great films from all over the country, and some storylines that, that one's an interesting one because it intersects both of the issues that we're celebrating this month, which are Pride and Indigenous history. So great that there's a film that kind of intersects two different communities, and probably we can all relate to some of those feelings of having to choose between two hard choices.
And one
thanks
of
for
our long-term First Weekend Club members and champions,
Yeah.
Mary Galloway, stars in this film. So,
Yeah.
yeah, big shout out
That's
to
actually where we first met Mary, at least where I first met her. And she sure is, she's just the sweetest little thing.
her. And a very, very talented actor.
Very talented.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of talent packed into that adorable little package. Not to diminish, but she is, she's
Oh, you're
she's
one small package talking about another one, right?
true enough. True enough.
We're cute too.
All right, that's enough of that. Okay, and finally, with some updates on what's happening with the Imaginative Festival, a new initiative that they're pursuing, and other industry news, we go to Catherine Brodsky for the Brodsky Report. Catherine, what's going on with pigeons?
God, Priya, I
gotta
gotta tell you, it's keeping me up. I haven't been sleeping. I dream of pigeons. I ordered a water gun on Amazon. I have spikes everywhere. I put tape everywhere. If anyone has any tips, this is a plea for my mental health. Please help me. Let me know.
How to deal with pigeons?
Get rid of pigeons. Yes, please. This is a
pigeons
public
are
service
Cute,
announcement.
aren't they?
Yeah. No, they're not. Not at all. And their sound is not pleasant either. But
Emily and I were talking about that the other day. We were saying, like, I actually find that to be quite
Priya,
calming.
you made that sound and I wanted to murder you. That's what was going on in my head.
right,
It
all
just
right.
switched
I guess
off and it was
everything in
like
moderation.
murder. So be careful.
All right.
But speaking of public service announcements, in honor of Indigenous Month, I'd like to spotlight a few great resources for films. So one of which is the National Film Board. So it's a great place to check out both short films and full-length films by Indigenous filmmakers, sometimes about Indigenous subjects. And to view some of those films, head over to www.nfb.ca/indigenous-cinema. And so that's a great place to catch up on some great films. And you can also celebrate National Indigenous History Month with Imaginative Film and Media Arts Festival, which is a very catchy title. So they have been doing a series on Facebook Live every Thursday. It's called Gather in the Telling. And it's every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can find out more about it on imaginative.org. So it's spelled imagine and then native. And then the festival itself is going to run, hopefully, October 20th to the 25th. So check that out. And you can learn more on their website about the festival as well. And of course, have to give you a little bit of an update of what's going on with reopening the film and TV industry. So
Yes.
Ontario Film, everyone is like anxious about it. So Ontario Film and TV productions are set to reopen, but they're taking kind of a regional approach. So Ottawa, North Bay, and Waterloo are going to be amongst the 24 regions that are able to restart as of, now. So as of June 12th, they were able to do that. So they're probably prepping rather than shooting, but they're going to be shooting soon. But regions like Toronto and Hamilton, which obviously have larger populations and more instances of COVID, they have to wait a little bit longer until they meet public health criteria. And BC on the West Coast has gotten the green light from WorkSafe BC and is getting closer to resuming production as well. And there's been like a lot of industry meetings, unions coming together, all sorts of stakeholders, and have been putting together a lot of specific COVID-19 protocols. And they have been expected to be released actually early June, but it seems like there's a little bit of a delay. So I think it's coming a little bit later in June now, but we should see them soon. And of course, there's some productions that are already definitely, as soon as they get that green light, they know they're going to be back as of July, even as late as June. Right now, as early as June, some productions are already in prep, and some will, trickle down in August, July, and September. So that's kind of the update, and we'll fill you in as we learn more.
Awesome.
And back to you, Priya. Yeah, hopefully. Can't wait to get back to.
Yeah.
I just got an email from my hair salon outlining the procedures that they're going to have to instill. So I can't even imagine what it's going to look like for the film industry, but really curious to know what set life is going to look like for the next few months.
Crazy. From what I've been reading and hearing and talking about, I mean, there's a lot of distance. It's not, you know, as you know, sets can be such a family. You know, you're kind of away.
Yeah.
It's a second family. You chat, you banter, you have fun. You sometimes hug each other. I'm not a hug person, but sometimes people hug me anyways. But that's going to be really different. You know, in lunch, you're going to have to eat like, you know, 6 feet away or 2 feet away from each other. Like,
but it's doable, you know? And it's exciting how people are being innovative, trying to find ways to make things work. And I find that really exciting that people are being really creative. I went to a restaurant yesterday for the first time, and you know, you took a photo of the menu, and then you figure out what you're going to eat from the menu. And it was a big restaurant with hardly any tables in it, but I got a restaurant experience.
Wow, you had the restaurant experience. I'm not there yet, but some people have been like patios are opening up, so that's good. On the bright side, like one of the reasons that I really want to get back to work on sets is also because that will allow me more time off from the pigeons. I had to bring it back.
This is a priority.
Yeah,
for your sanity.
Exactly. And back to you, Priya.
Thanks so much, Catherine. We will check in on how that sanity is holding up next week. Thank you all for joining us. I do want to announce that we have a great panel discussion this Friday. That's June 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be chatting with two filmmakers who had films at Hot Docs this year, including one of the top films, and it also won the Rogers Audience Award, and that was Walrus and The Whistleblower. So the director of that, Natalie Bibeau, will be joining Liz Marshall, director of Meet the Future, as well as Camille Labchuk, who is the lead lawyer for Animal Justice Canada. And we're going to be talking about our relationship, our ever-evolving relationship with the natural world and the other creatures that share it. So looking at two different documentaries and two very different animal-related topics, but it's going to be super interesting. So we hope you'll join us. It will be live on Facebook. And again, that's this Friday, June 19th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, be sure to tag us at First Weekend Club, and that's with the #1 ST, and also hashtag CDN Film Love. Until next week, folks, have a great one.
See you guys.
Bye.